I'm now talking with Gary Burkhart. He's a volunteer with the Branch District Library, and we're here talking about the operating millage. Gary, first of all, welcome to the show. And secondly, let's talk about what you're doing as a volunteer. I know that you've been doing presentations. Dorothy Cherry's been doing presentations around. Tell me what your role is as a volunteer here.
Well, we're telling the story for the library, whose revenues have been down substantially in recent years. The library is proposing a millage for operating only, not buildings, of a $0.5 at the August 5th election. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to let people know how badly that's needed and encourage them to vote for it on August 5th.
All right. So when you talk about a $0.5, how much money are you talking about?
It's not much. It's under $20 per year for the average person on their tax bill. The last time the library went for any kind of tax revenue was 22 years ago. We started out with 0.7 and the Headley provisions for the state of Michigan have reduced that to about 0.6. This $0.5 starts out at a little under $20. It reduces then to about 0.4, again because of the Headley provision. Mm-hmm. Other revenue for the library has come from penal fines, and the state legislature changed the allocation of penal fines, traffic tickets, and so forth a few years ago, so we only get about 15% of what we did. So the result has been serious cutbacks at all 6 library offices, serious staff reductions, serious reduction in the budget for books, for instance. Everything is down, and it's quite critical. The library is now, in 2013, dipping into the last of their available reserve funds.
Mm-hmm. Now, Gary, when you talk about the library and the operating millage, there are a number of people that use the library, but there are those, and I'm going to kind of play a little devil's advocate for you.
Okay.
Somebody's going to say, well, I know, but why do you need a library anymore? Can't you just go online and get all the information you need?
It's a good question. Actually, the library is the only online source for a lot of people in the community as well. It's still probably the most important resource we have, the access point for information and resources. The internet stations at the library get 200,000 uses per year, over 200,000, compared to about 50,000 6 or 7 years ago. We're the only place that some people have for that kind of access, and it's now necessary when you apply for a job or search for a job to do it online. Mm-hmm. And we're the only place a lot of people here can do it. So we understand the value of the internet, the importance of it, but it has not detracted from the value of the library or reduced its use. Mm-hmm. We're getting more use than we ever did.
Well, and there's a number of different programs that go on for kids, for adults. I mean, as we take a look at some of the different pictures, there's a lot of things happening at the library.
There are. There are regular programs for kids, supplemental programs for educators. Our Literacy Council, which functions to tutor adults with reading needs, operates out of the library. So there are things every day of the week that benefit the community in many, many ways, not just books.
So the Branch District Library is the hub for what libraries in our community?
Well, we have six offices, 6 locations that are in the district library system. There's Sherwood, Union City, Bronson, Quincy, Algansett, and the big one at Coldwater. And this money will be used throughout the system. We also link to the Willard system, which is a consortium of dozens of libraries that gives us access to materials that may not be available here. It's a trading system where if we have something that somebody else in the system needs, it's sent there for loan, returned to us, and vice versa for things that our people may want that we don't have.
Mm-hmm. What happens if the millage doesn't go through?
It's pretty dire, Tim. The cutbacks that we've witnessed so far will be minor compared to what will have to happen. There will be further staff cutbacks. There will be a serious reduction in hours. Equipment that's badly needed to replace current equipment won't be bought. The facilities will continue to, the equipment and facilities will continue to age, and we won't be getting the new books that we need. The cuts have already been serious. They're going to get a lot more serious, I'm afraid.
How long is this millage for?
8 years, and as I said earlier, it starts at a half a mil, but that will taper down to 4/10 of a mil. So it's not a lot of money. It's a nickel a day for most families.
Now, is there anything else you'd like to share with people out there, or any other details?
Well, the staff has been doing an amazing job. One of the cuts that I haven't mentioned specifically is that the existing staff, despite being smaller than it was, their benefits and pay has been frozen for 4 years. They've actually had some reductions. They've done an amazing job on a tight budget. And this budget, even with the additional half mil, will still have our library system operating on well under the average for the state of Michigan libraries. We owe it to our staff as well as our public, our clients, to provide more.
All right, so that's coming up August 5th. We encourage you to get out and vote and voice your opinion. Gary, thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, Gary Burkhart, one of the volunteers for the Branch District Library, explaining the millage coming up on August the 5th. I'm Tim Hart-Haber. We got more coming up. Stay with us. You're watching Our Community.